Good morning, everyone, team. Let us start our session for today. So, in the yesterday's session, we were talking about the concept of security, and then we have seen how the security has built in the high level. So, as I told you, the session which we covered yesterday will be at the high level, not in detail of the security, how the rules were being restricted depending upon the data security profiles we are adding. That we will be covering in the security mode. Okay. So initially, to start or kick off with the application usage, I have shown you how to create the basic user in the account and how to assign the roles to them. And by adding the rules, what access we are getting to the user account. So we have discussed about the concept of roles-based access control and how the user accounts will be created in the system. Or typically, high level, what are the types of roles also we have discussed. And I told you these are the rules that are required for you to enable you to the implementation related tasks like admin tasks, or we can say the FSM related tasks, functional setup manager related tasks. These are the roles that will enable you the access. And then today we will start with the implementation project in the system. So what is implementation project? Whenever you go for any implementation or you went for a client, so who is our client? You went for your Tata client, right? So this is our enterprise structure which we defined, right? So let's suppose you've gone for a Tata company for starting the implementation of the system for them. What is the first and foremost thing that you have to perform in the application after client give you the user credentials to you? You have to create the implementation project in the system. Why? What is the necessary of creating the implementation project in the system? Here, we will have a concept called FSM, which we will be called as Functional Setup Manager. That is not a task. That is a process which will navigate us from end-to-end configuration of the application. So what we have to do is, we have to enable the offerings of the client in the application. We have discussed the concept of offerings, right? I told you Oracle providing the services to the client in the form of offerings, deployment, development, and compensation management. Under the offerings, we are having our modules which we are going to discuss. So you have to create the implementation project and you have to enable the offerings to that project. Then you will get the associated opt-in features and also the associated tasks under that module to start configuring the system. Okay, so where is the place that we have to go for creating the implementation project? Here, come to the settings and actions in your user access. If you click on this, in the settings and actions, we will have administration functional area. This area we can call it as FSM area as well. Okay, so here you will have setup and maintenance. Setup and maintenance. So how you will get access to this administration section? You have to be assigned with this implementation rules. Then you will get access to this section here in the settings and actions. Okay, so go to setup and maintenance. This is very important area, setup and maintenance. From today, every day we will be going into the same task, setup and maintenance, where we are going to set up the application through this area. Okay, after clicking on setup and maintenance, this will be the page will get displayed here. And then here you will have a taskbar available. Click on this taskbar and then you will have manage implementation projects. Manage implementation projects. Click on this manage implementation projects and you will be redirected to the implementation projects task. Okay, so here you are seeing several projects which are created already. Implementation project 4, some Switzerland, some Fin implementation, some SCM implementation. Okay, but this is the demo instance. So multiple people will be practicing. So for their purpose, they have created multiple projects in this environment. But whereas you go for an implementation to your client, that is your client's application. Nothing will be displayed. You will be the first person creating the project in the system. Okay. What is the need of creating the project? One thing is we have to enable the offerings or the modules that client is want to implement in the system. We are going to enable. So what we will do by enabling that? We will get access to the tasks. Okay, that is fine. Next, what could be the use of creating this? Here, ideally, you take any technology. It might be a Oracle or SAP or any technology. During the implementation time, they want to track the tasks or they want to track how the consultants are working. What is the progress of the project? How many tasks they have completed till now? This is what the time scope we decided. 6 months is the time scope for our project to get implemented. So how we have to track? Person wise we can track, or the task wise we can track. There are several ways for that. So ideally there will be some project related tools available in the market for tracking the project in the system. But whereas Oracle has given the inbuilt basic high level project management related task called implementation project, where customer can cross check coming into the implementation project, what is the status or what is the progress of implementation, how many modules they have completed as of now, what are the tasks they have completed now. They can check it here. But that is up to the customer requirement, whether they want to have an eye on us or they want to leave us on a free hand. That is up to the customer requirement. But there is a provision where they can check here in the implementation project. But as far as our concern, coming to the consultant perspective, we will create the project for enabling the offerings to get access to the associated tasks in the system. So what you have to do after coming here, there is a plus icon available. You can click on plus. Either you can also go to the actions button and you can click on create. Both the ways you can create the project. This is also create button. Click on create. Okay. And give the implementation project name here. I am giving prefixing with my client company name, Tata HCM implementation project. Implementation project. If client is implementing financial things also in the same system and also supply chain also in the same Fusion application, then that people will create their projects and they will enable their respective offerings in the system. But we as a HCM respective thing, we have to create our project in the system. So the moment I gave the name, the code and the description have been auto-populated with the same thing. If you want to write any description, you can write on your own. This is a project created on this date and this is the expected date to complete the project. You can give the description as well. Okay. And then assigned to, for whom this project is going to assign, who is going to lead this project. As such, I am creating the project by default, my user ID taken up here. Okay. So ideally, this can be created by the project managers in the team. So he will be the person who is going to lead the entire project. So that will be assigned to this user. If you want to assign it to some other, you can click on this drop down, search for the employee here. If the user account is available already by this time, you can search for the employee, search, and then click on, select that person, click on OK. That person will get selected. But by default, the user who is creating the project will be taken up here as assigned to. And then start date, when your project is going to start. Okay, June 18th is my start date. Finish date is not mandatory. If you want to give, you can give the tentative finish date. If you are having when the project is going to complete, you can give that date also in the system. And then click on next. And then click on next. Here we will be landing upon the offerings screen. See, we have came to the select offerings to implement. These all are the offerings which Oracle is providing for different products, starting with HCM, financials, supply chain, and then PPM or CRM, CPQ, every product. This instance is having enabled with all the products within it. Okay, this application. That's why you are able to see all the offerings. But coming to our HCM product, what are the offerings we are having? These are the three: workforce deployment, workforce development, and compensation management. My core HR is coming under this offering. My payroll also coming under this deployment offering, or absence and time and labor also under this offering. And goals, talent, and performance will be under workforce deployment. Compensation and benefit modules will be under compensation management. So what you want to implement? If you want to implement, or your client is going to get implemented only core HR, absence, and payroll, enable just workforce deployment offering, because your modules of all the three are coming under that workforce deployment only. Let's suppose your client is implementing, going to get implement core HR, payroll, absence, and also talent, goals, and performance. Then we have to enable these two offerings to the client from here. How you will enable that offerings? Yes, this is a license feature. Offering is depending upon the license is subscribed, that offerings will be delivered to the client. Okay. So see, this is the one offering which is related to the HCM, compensation management. Okay, but again, customer data management, customer loyalty, enterprise contact, finance, these are not our cup of soup. These are not our offerings. Skip that one. Whenever you are creating a HCM project, you have to be concerned with only that three offerings. Out of the three offerings, what you want to enable means how many modules my client is going to get implemented in the system. Okay, I will scroll down and I will search for my workforce deployment and development. See, here my offerings are there. Workforce deployment and development. In supply chain management, they are having an offering called supply chain. Under that offerings, their respective modules like procurement or orchestration, contracts, inventory management, all that modules will come in that offering. And same like projects. For projects, they are having this offering, and financials, their offering is having. Okay. So what we have to do here, how you will select the offering to your implementation project that you have created. Here there is an include section, right? Include section. So deployment I required because my core HR, absence, and payroll modules are under workforce deployment. I will select this entire row, and here in the include section, I will checkbox this offering here. The moment I checkbox that offering, there are some other objects which will be coming under that. See, my modules under the offering. You want to enable payroll under that offering? Yes. No, I don't want payroll. My client is not getting implemented payroll here. Only core HR and absence is there. Then I will skip the payroll. Why I need payroll? I will just check box the absence management and certain things, whatever I require. But my client is having core HR, absence, and payroll. So I will enable all the modules, I can say, under the offering. Okay. And then the time and labor, workforce profiles, work and workforce management, and also human resource business intelligent analytics. For every module, there will be analytics related thing will be coming. You have to enable that one as well. Okay. I'm enabling these things till here. Right. So I have enabled all the things under my workforce deployment. Fine. So next, what I want to enable, my client is also having goals, talent, and performance management thing. So I want to enable that offering as well. So I will enable the workforce development as well. So the moment I checkbox this one, some other associated things will come. See, goal setting, career development, questionnaire. These all are what? Related to goals, talent, and performance. I will enable that one as well for my project. Okay. And this is analytics related to workforce development. Right? I have given checkbox. So there is compensation management. If you want to enable You can enable if the client is subscribed for that also, you will get this one. But my compensation and benefits I'm not implementing for my client, then I no need to include that one. Only deployment and development are quite sufficient. Understand? And then click on save and open project. Now your project will come with the associated offerings you have enabled under that project. Okay. Yeah, usually Ravi, we will enable all the things under core HR. The workforce deployment, everything we will enable. Okay. So see, my Tata HCM implementation project came, and this is the name of the project. This is the code that has been generated automatically for my project and assigned it to this person. And this is the start date. So finish date I have not given. That's why it is not coming. And see here, the main thing, task lists and tasks. What we are getting here under this task list and task, whatever the offerings that we enabled, those were came here. Okay. So what we can perform now, I have created an implementation project in the system by enabling the offerings to my client. So indirectly, the modules related things also got assigned to this Tata HCM implementation project. So what you can perform, see now, let me go to the spreadsheet. Okay. So now I am going to start implementing the core HR module. So the first and the foremost task I want to perform in my system is manage geographies. So I want to define the geographies in the system. So I will tell you afterwards what is geographies, how to configure that. I want to define the geographies in the system. So here in the task button, we have to search with the task. I am searching with manage geographies and giving the search area. I will get the results here. See, the task result is coming. I am removing geographies and I want to configure my enterprise in the system. Manage enterprise HCM information. I will go to the taskbar. I will search for my manage enterprise HCM information. See, my enterprise HCM information came. Why I am getting the tasks here when I am searching for the tasks? Because these are called as opt-in features. Opt-in features means what? You have enabled the offerings to the project. By enabling the offerings, if I expand, there are sub areas which have been associated with that offerings were also assigned to this project. See, if I expand this one, workforce deployment, I can see the lot of sub objects which have been enabled with this offering. So if I go a little bit deeper into that one also, if I expand some other things, define payroll legislations. See, my task configure payroll legislation is there in this. There is a task in the payroll that is configure payroll legislation. If I want to configure this one, I have to go and search here. But why the results are coming out the moment I search with my task, not only payroll legislation, might be the enterprise or geographies. Because within the offering that modules reside, and within that business modules, there were the tasks which reside under them. And configure legislation for human resource. This is one task. And then if I expand the common HCM configuration, there are certain tasks which I will get under defined workforce record. See, this is one task. Manage value sets for global human resource. Or if I expand the first area, there are certain things where I will get. See, define geographies for human capital management. In this, I will have the task, manage geography lookups. There are certain things. See, manage geographies. That's what came up when I search for manage geographies. So all the tasks will embed under them. All the tasks will embed under that business objects which are enabled from the offering. Okay. So you no need to bother all these things. You no need to of expanding anything. Just for your understanding purpose, I have told you. In the real time, you can straight away add the offerings what you want to the project, and you straight away start searching of the task here and configure the task in the system. Okay, but I am telling you why or when I'm searching for a task, from where the task is coming up. That is coming up from the offerings that we have enabled to this project in the system. Okay, so what you understood now, by enabling the offering, my modules, what I want to implement, are ready with me. The associated tasks are ready with me. I will get access to them. Now, someone chatting here, to join late in the project and to want to see what. If you can join late in the project also, not an issue. You can come to the implementation project, edit the project. I will show you that one. Then that will be shown to you. What are the offerings enabled here? You can see any point of time. Okay. So here there is something called assign task or edit status. What is this one? Here project manager, when he created the project and enabled the offerings, he can assign the task to his team. Let's suppose Kumar is good at core HR part. So I want to assign the core HR related tasks to Kumar in the project. Or some Sandeep is good at some other part. I want to assign these absence related tasks to the Sandeep. So the project manager will have an access to assign the tasks to the individuals as well, to have a track on them, what work has been assigned to him in the project. So what he will do, so I want this task. There is a task called manage enterprise HCM information. I can search for a task here. Okay, I can search for the task here. Or else directly we cannot. So if I expand this one, this is goals talent. Let me go to the deployment only. Okay. So we were somewhere here. I'm talking about the task called manage. What is that one? Manage geographies or something. Let me go to that task only. Let me expand this geographies for human capital management. And there is a task called manage geographies. I want to assign this task to some of my team member, who are working under me. You can select on the task. You can select on the task, and then you can click on assign task. Then it will ask us to whom you want to assign. Then here, see, what is the task I'm going to assign? Manage geographies. So the configuration of geographies task is responsible to the person whom I am going to add here. Okay. Click on plus icon. Click on plus icon. And then in the user, you select that user ID. Along with the project manager, the team also will get the user accounts, right? Kumar also will get his user account for the system, and Sandeep, everyone will get in the system. So the project manager can search for the person here. You can select the user with the user ID, or let me search with some person who is available in the system as of now. Okay. There is no person. There is some person, John is there. I want to assign this task to John. Select the person, click on apply, and done. Okay, so for this person, I have assigned the task, that is manage geographies. Assign same due date to all users. What is this one? If I have a multiple people, I am assigning this to this task to complete. Okay, then you can also give the due date for them when you want to specify here. Let's suppose I'm giving one more person here, or else just I'm giving assign same due date to all users. And then if I click on plus, so I can give that date, and I want to also add some other person that is bold as also a user for this respective task. We select that one as well. See, the due date for both the people has given same. These two people are responsible for that task. Like that, a project manager can assign the task to them. See here, when I search for the task of manage geographies, I can see here directly. Where is the task? See, these are the two peoples, and this is the due date given to them. See, this is the thing which Oracle has given to perform in the system. But in the real time, no project manager will concentrate on this, or neither the client also. Because only the enabling of the offerings is taken as priority for creating the project and developing the system. But See, now I assigned a task to one of the user called that some a bold I have assigned. It doesn't mean that that respective task will be accessed only to that person. No, any person can perform that one. So ideally, how the implementation will go is, let's suppose 4 people are there in a team for the implementation. They will share the work across them. They will work on a team. Okay, here a provision or a functionality is available to assign the task to the particular person, but in the real time I'm telling you people, no one is bothered about this one, assigning of task to someone, nothing, because there is a limitation here. Let's suppose this board has been assigned and he created this task, manage geographies has been completed by that person. There is no mechanism that the status will be auto updated by Oracle itself to the completed. That is a limitation is there with this setup in the system. Automatically, once the task is performed by this user, the status will not change to completed. I have to manually come and change. I have to select here, come to edit status, and I have to choose what status I want to. If it is started, I will keep in progress. Completed, I will complete it. Execution frozen, they want to keep it on hold or completed with errors, something. So if I keep completed, if I save and close, the status will get updated. See, the status updated to completed. So who will perform all these things? Project manager will not care about all these things, but the functionality is available. So I thought of telling to you. Understanding purpose, I have given you the picture of what we can perform in the assigned task. And edit status, as I told, manually we have to edit. There is no automatic concept in the system where it will complete or update the status accordingly with the task you performed in the system. Okay. So these are the things which we can discuss in the project. And let's suppose you are searching for any of the tasks. Anyhow, I will give you the spreadsheet. This one not an issue. You are configuring one by one as part of your implementation. And when you're searching for any task, sometime or the other, you have not find the task in that. Let's suppose you have not find the task in that. So what you will do? What you will do? If you have searched for the task and the task is not coming to you here, there is a task called key flex fields. Let me go to the payroll. There is a task called manage key flex fields. Let me search for this task here. Manage key flex fields. Is there any results coming up related to this task? No. Or you take any of the task, not only this one. If you find the task is not coming here, so how you will implement that key flex field task here? Okay. Okay, let me search in this way. Any task here, you don't know the full name of that task. You can search like this: manage percentile, okay, geo percentile, and give a search. All the tasks related to this GEO 3 characters will displayed here. The percentile combination is the accepted, validated combination in the Oracle system. We have to keep the characters between the percentile. Then the associated tasks will come here. Or let's suppose I want a task called manage legal entity. I don't know the full meaning or spelling of that one. Manage legal, and then I'm giving a percentile and I'm giving a search. So see, all the tasks starting with LEGA will be displayed here. So I can pick up what is my task. So I want this one, manage legal entity task, this one, or manage legal entity HCM information. Then I can get into this task. This is one combination which you can make use of when you are searching for any of the tasks. Okay, so let us come back to the concept. If you are not finding any task when you're searching here, what you have to do? Here there is a plus icon, right? Here there is a plus icon. Go to the plus icon. Okay. Here in the search area, in the select and add task list and task, in the search area, keep the offering as task or task list. Okay. And then search here, manage percentile key, and then giving the percentile, and I'm adding the task. So here I will get a task, see key flex fields. Select the task, apply, okay, apply and done. So see, your task has been added here under the offering. So even after creating of the project, after clicking on the done, when you came to the payroll, you realized that one of the tasks is missing from these offerings. Then you can add it manually at any point of time, like selecting and add. Or I will give you another scenario. Client in the initial phase of implementation, implementing core HR, absence and payroll. So we have enabled only these two offerings. At later point of time, client also want to implement the compensation module in the system. So for compensation, again, I have to go and create a separate project. No, not required. This is not necessarily required. You can come to the same project, click on plus icon. For the task, I have given the task here, but now I am going to add the offering here, compensation management. Keep the offering here and search with compensation and give a search. This is the offering comes to you. Select this one, apply and done. See, my offering will get enabled here. See, my offering is enabled along with this two. The third offering also enabled here. So this is how you can add, or you don't want to have this one. You can select the area which you don't want and delete that. It's up to your requirement. Okay. So this is what high level, the project implementation of the project. I mean, creating of the implementation project in the system. But as I told, it is having a low concern in the real time. Just we will create the project for enabling the offerings and we will start the activity from searching the task here. If you click on done, then you can see your project one among all the search results here. Whatever available in this application, you can see your project as well here. What is the start date, last updated date, and last updated by the user. You can also track who went into this project and who changed this one. You can have a track also as well. And who is the authorized person responsible for this project. HCM_IMPL is the authorized person. So this is what the first and the foremost thing we have to perform in the system once the client has given us the access to their application, creating the implementation project and enabling the offerings under that. So let us move to the concept of manage geographies in the system. Now we were starting our first module, that is global HR, or we can call it as core HR module. We are going to start the geographies in the system. And one more thing you have to understand here is, for any module in the system, core HR is mandatory. Without core HR module, there is no other module happen in the system. You are having absence, you are having payroll, you are having goals, talent and performance, OTL, that is time and labor, or compensation and benefits, or recruiting cloud. You take anything. Core HR module is mandatory in the system. Why? Employees will be hired in this module. The enterprise structure of the client will be designed here. The enterprise divisions, legal entities, business units, departments, or the jobs, locations, grades, departments, everything will be defined in the core HR module. And the hiring of the employee also will take place in the core HR module. Until and unless you have an employee in the system, what is the use of absence and payroll? So if any client subscribing for the license from the Oracle, the core HR module is a mandatory subscription, and Oracle has given that as a free of thing. Rest of the offerings will be costed, but core HR will be the mandatory setup or mandatory module which is required in any implementation of the client. Okay, so concentrate more or deep into the core HR module whenever we are discussing. So what we are going to define here, what is the usage of this module? Okay, so first and the foremost thing we will talk about for today is geographies concept. So what is geographies in the system and why are they necessary, or how many ways we can define the geographies in the system, we will see today. So as per the Oracle definition for the geographies means any place with certain boundaries is called a geography. What is the meaning? Any place with certain boundaries or any place which is surrounded by a boundary is called a geography in the system. Let's take the example of country India. Okay, everyone is familiar with our country India. So we can say as a country, India is one geography. Okay, as a country, India is one geography. Or Telangana as a state, one geography. Okay, or Maharashtra as a state, it is one geography. On Hyderabad as a city, it is also called as geography. Or Mumbai is called as geography. A Bangalore city, we can call it as a geography in the system. So any place with certain boundaries will be called as geographies in the system. That is the regular terminology or the regular definition of geographies in the system. Why these are required? The second question we will come. Why the geographies are required? What is the purpose of geographies in the system? Here, we are having a concept called locations in the system. Locations in the system. What you will perform? Location means what? You will define the client's location in the system. Means what? In which are all the places your client is having business. So let's move on to our client Tata Group. So what we discussed, the Tata Group is having presence in how many areas? In India, we are having two companies, TCS India Private and Tata Motors Private Limited. And TCS, in how many places it is operating? Is it operating in Delhi, Noida, Mumbai, Chennai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, everywhere? Tata Motors, yes, in Mumbai it is there, in Hyderabad it is there, Bangalore it is there, everywhere. Even in United States, this TCS US might be in New York, California, or Texas. There will be different places where this company is located. So these are called as locations of your client, in which are all the places, the physical offices were there, and where the employees are working for your client. Okay, those are called locations. So when we defining the legal entity, or when we defining an enterprise, or when we defining a business unit or a department or a job or a location, everywhere we are going to specify in which location that business unit is located, in which location that legal entity is located, or in which location that department is there. For everywhere, the location concept will be there, and we have to attach that respective location. You can call it as address also in your terminology, but we will call them as locations in the system. When you defining the locations in the system, okay, when you defining the locations in the system, what you will define? The address, street name, area name, zip code, and then followed by district, city, state, postal code. Correct? This is what the address means, usually known address. We will have the country information, state information. In India, we will have district after states. District information, in which district that location is there, and in which city, and the postal code. So for creating a location, this much information I require. This much information I require. So how Oracle will provide to me? I am implementing a system to India. Why the geographical data of India should be there by Oracle? How many states are there in India? What are the districts for them? What are the towns or cities, or what are the villages having in that country, India? So when you are implementing a system to the client, we have to first perform the task called manage geographies, where we are going to define the geographical structure of that country. In India, you are implementing the system for your Tata Group. So Indian related geographical information has to be there in the system. When I am creating the locations, I can choose from the drop down the geographies that are available. When I'm creating a location, from the state field, I should get the list of state fields over there. I have to give the state information. In the district field, I should get the list of districts available. From where it will come? First, we have to define the geographies for the countries in the system. So your client is having presence in United States, then you have to define the geographies for United States as well. You're having a UK, your client is having presence, then you have to create in the UK as well. But there are two ways to define the geographies in the system. One will be user entered. Manually, we can create the geographic structure of the client, or we are having a automated process where you can upload the file into the system. Okay, so when you will go with the manual way, if clients locations are not that complex, means what, my Tata group or my Tata consultancy company is having presence only in 3 or 4 cities, in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Noida and Delhi. So these are sufficient, right? No other place in India my offices were there. Only at 4 or 5 major cities the offices were there. So I can create manually that 4 or 5 geographies in the system. But let's suppose there is some other company called, let's say Tata Motors is there. Tata Motors is having locations in teeth and tin of the every place of the country. In almost 20 states in India, Tata Motors offices were there. And within that also, in the deep rural, in the villages, they are having warehouses or something. So if that requirement is complex, the places where the client is operating is more, then we have to define each and every geography in the system, right? Because they required all the districts, all the villages, all the towns within the country. So at that time, we have to go with the automation, like uploading the geographies into the system through a file. So let us talk about 2 concepts, how to define both the perspectives. So what is the task for creating the geographies in the system? And I'm going to the application. Usually we have to come to our setup and maintenance. Let me go to home screen. Okay, I will come back and I will show you. Okay, right now I am on the home screen. Right, I logged in into the system. I have landed up on the home screen. Setup and maintenance. I'm showing you the daily activity, what we have to do. Every day we have to go to setup and maintenance. Okay, go to the taskbar, expand this taskbar, implementation project, and get into our project. We are not bothered about these things. Click on this project and here search for manage geographies. You know the task name directly, you can type directly manage geographies and give a search. Okay, so 3 results are coming up here. You can pick up anything, it will be redirected to the same. Means what, here the path, if you see, this task is available in workforce deployment development offering, and this task is available in compensation management offering, and this task is available in workforce development deployment offering also. So you can pick up any of these 3, you can pick up anything. The page will redirect to the same task. Okay, so let me go to the task called manage geographies in the system. The moment I click on manage geographies, see, I have landed upon these things. There are certain things. These are load geographies for China, US, India, Canada. This is the automated way how we have to upload. First, let us talk about the manual creation of geographies. The task name for creating the manual way is manage geographies. Here you are having the go to task button where the arrow is showing right side. Click on this go to task, then you will be landing upon manage geographies configuration page. Right, manage geographies configuration page. So here you can search with your country name or country code. I'm searching with IN. So in the results, my India will come up here. In results, my India will come up here. And if I search with USA, US or USA, then I will get United States geography results here. United States. Like that, you can search with UK. If it is Canada, means you can search with Canada. Okay, like that. Okay, if it's not coming as a UK, you have to define like United Kingdom or something. It will come. Anyhow, it is loading much time. So let us go to, see that United Kingdom came. Okay, let us go to India. See here, we have to understand one thing. For certain countries where the Oracle is having business, India, China, Canada, okay, UK, if you take Middle East countries like Saudi, Dubai, Qatar, Oman, okay, or any France, For all these countries, already Oracle will give the predefined geographies in the system. Already Oracle will give the predefined geographies in the system. On top of that, you are having your requirement. Like in the Oracle defined or given geographies, you want to have a street names also included in that, street names. But Oracle will not give, not that level. It will give the country, state, district and cities. Only this level only Oracle will give in the system. You want to maintain under cities the postal code or some area name, something you want, or a village name, villages also you want to maintain. So you can create manually that one. But at a high level, for some countries, Oracle have already provided the geographies. The loaded geographies are already provided by the Oracle. If I search for a country like, I think for the country like Sri Lanka, if you take, there is no geography is defined by Oracle. Let me check out. Okay, Sri Lanka. Someone created. If I check a country like Zambia or something. Zambia also there. Some countries, Kenya or something. Kenya it is there. For some countries, Oracle will not define anything. You have to create from the scratch. So let me give you a blank search. You can see all the list of countries which Oracle has given already the basic geographies in the system. If I give you a blank search, all the countries data will display here. Afghanistan, Albania, Algeria. See, these all are the countries which Oracle has given the geographical data in the system. There will be some countries here and there where we don't know that countries as well. Where they are into not that limelight, or where the people are not using these Oracle systems or anything. For that countries, you might not find the geographies already given in the system. Okay, so let us go to our country India. Okay, search here with the country India. And what is the first and the foremost thing we have to understand in the geographies concept is two things we have to understand: geographic structure and geographic hierarchy. If I select the country India and if I click on action button, what it is showing me? Geographic structure and geographic hierarchy. These two we have to understand when we configuring the geographies in the system. What is geographic structure? For a country India, the structure will be like this. At the top level, okay, at the top level we will have the country, correct? At the top level we will have country followed by states, and in India what we will have under states? We will have districts. Under districts what we will have? Cities or towns we will have, correct? Under cities and towns we will have villages. Under villages we will have postal areas, correct? In India this is the structure. So this we will call as geography structure in the system. Geography structure in the system. Let's suppose take the country of United States. What is the structure for that country? United States, you will have country which is at the top, followed by states there also, and there they will have counties, right? Here we will have districts, they will have counties there, and then followed by cities or towns, and if I'm not wrong, they will have some zip areas or something they will call, something like that below that. Okay. So for every country, we will have different structures in the geographies. In India, this is the geographic structure: country, state, district, cities or towns, villages, and postal areas. In United States, you will have country, state, county, like that. If you go to UK, they will have something. I think here you will have provinces, I think, in UK, US. After that, if I'm not wrong. In UK, they will have their structure of the country and state, they will have some other thing. So every country will have their structure. So first we have to define the geographic structure in the system. Select the country click on actions and go to manage geographic structure. But as I told, already the geographic structure for certain countries will be defined by Oracle. See, this is a geographic structure, but in this vision demo environments, after state, Oracle has given us county. We cannot do anything. If you find anything wrong coming up here, you can raise a request with the Oracle. They will adjust. After state, the districts are there. So these are the 4 levels which Oracle has standardly delivered in the system, in the geographic structure. But what I want to maintain after my towns or cities, they are having zip. Under zip, I want some local areas I want to have in my structure. Okay, under zip, I want local area or some village I want. Under zip, I want some village to be added here. Under village, I want some local areas. I want to define my structure like that. These are the standard structure for the country India Oracle has given. So if you raise a request with Oracle, they will amend this county to the district. Okay. So you want to add your respective other things after this zip. What you have to do? You can find out that add geographic type if it already created, you can find here. See the district, municipality, emirates, province, there are some 10 things. There is nowhere village available here. I want to add my village under zip. What you have to do? Create and add geographic type and then create village, save and close. Okay. Now here I created the village. So that came up here under my zip. So from the next time, if I want, I can find out from this list only. Now village also will be added here. See, village is there now. Okay. And under village, if you want to maintain anything like area, area, save and close. Then the area, okay. Someone already created this one. So we can make use of the area available from the list. I'm selecting area and click on add. Under village, my area is coming. See here, whatever the structure that I am adding, I'm having an option to delete. But whatever the structure already Oracle has defined in this application, I'm not having a delete option available. It means you cannot delete the structure from the system unless you approach the Oracle to amend these functionalities. Okay. So this is the structure which you have to first define for your country, right? Save and close. And after defining the structure, the second task will be defining the geographic hierarchy. Defining the geographic hierarchy. Select the geographic hierarchy. See here, the moment I came to the geographic hierarchy, for a country, India, there are certain data already available. See, India at the country, this type is nothing but the structure which we defined now. Okay, we are mapping the structure with our hierarchy. Hierarchy means the list of information related to the type. Country, India, states. What are the states we are having? Andaman and Nicobar, Andhra Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh, Assam. If I expand this Andhra Pradesh, or if I expand the Telangana, any of the state, then after state, what will be a, see, nothing is defined for Telangana. Let me go to expansion of Andhra Pradesh. See, I expanded the state Andhra Pradesh. These all are my districts under my Andhra Pradesh. But why I am getting as county here? Because in the structure, Oracle has given wrongly in the name of district, they have given county, or else we can find the districts. And if I expand my county or the district, actually our point is district. If I expand this Adilabad, I'm able to see the towns. If I expand this town, then I can see if anything is there, I can see the area or zip, whatever I created, but I have not added anything here. So see here, this is the structure which you defined for the country India, and these are the hierarchies within that structure. Understand? So India at the top. Country will be by default given by the Oracle itself, but this data is already provided by Oracle in the system. So you see the name data provider has been showing us user entered. Okay. Here, there will be a second process as I told you. where we can approach for uploading the file into the system. There are some partners which are associated with the Oracle called Vertex or Nokia. These are the accepted vendors for the Oracle who will be providing the files for uploading into the system. Those two companies are geodata service providers. I mean, they are the statistical based companies. Oracle is having a understanding or the relationship with both the companies where we can get the file from them for uploading into the system. Usually that is automated process, but now we are talking about the manual way. Now see, I want to add, okay, I want to add under Telangana there is nothing, only one state is coming up here. I want to add Hyderabad under my Telangana. How I have to perform that action? I came to manage geographic hierarchy for India. Okay, I have seen these are the data which Oracle has given, but my client location is not available in this geographic hierarchy. My client place where he is not available. My Hyderabad is not available under my Telangana. So I can create from here itself. What you will do, scroll down the list and select the state Telangana here, select the state here, and then go up. You will have plus icon available here. Click on create and give the details. So under Telangana, my Hyderabad will come under the state of Rangareddy, sorry, district of Rangareddy. Give the Rangareddy details here. This is required. Simply click on save and close. Simply click on save and close. Now see, I will come to Telangana now. Prior to that, there is no data available under Telangana. If I come down, okay, if I come down now, see, usually this will be how it looks. If I expand Telangana under state, by county Rangareddy added here. I mean, usually the district has to pick up, but in the structure after state, county is there. That's why it is coming as county, or else district will come. Okay. So under that district, what I want to define, my city, Hyderabad under this Rangareddy. So I will keep the cursor on the county that I have created now. I will go up, I will click on plus icon and I will define my Hyderabad. Save and close. Now come down and check out under Rangareddy whether the Hyderabad is saved or not. Come down. See, Telangana is there, and the next structure county Rangareddy we added, and then after we expand, the town Hyderabad came here. Under Hyderabad, if you want to add any area, high-tech city, I'm selecting this one, or the Gachibowli you want to add, select the Hyderabad and click on plus and give the geography, that information, high-tech city, and then click on save and close. Okay. Now you scroll down, you can see that area as well. Now if you scroll down, Telangana is there, and next followed by district, followed by town. And if you expand, high-tech city, the zip is there. How this is taking up, whatever the structure that is defined for India, what coming after what, after country, state, county, town, zip. If I create any area under my high-tech city, the village I have added, right? Then that will be taken as village here under high-tech city if I require. So like this, you can manually create as many geographies that your client is having presence. You can create them manually in the system. Understand? This is how we can create the geographies in the system. This is one way of creating the geographies. Let us take 5 more minutes to complete this task for today. There is second way I told, right? For uploading the files in the system. For that, the task name is load geographies for US or load geographies for India. You can pick up the task of load geographies for US and click on go to task. So here you will get these 3 processes which you have to perform for uploading the file into the system. First thing will be the middle one, manage or process data. Okay. First one will be process data. Select this one, then you can find out. Okay, this is automated now, no details. You have to select the load file, and here you will get the process details, validate input parameters, and load US geography information. See, in the data source, I'm getting Vertex. Means what? Vertex is the licensed partner with the Oracle. We have to subscribe the license from the Vertex as well to get the geographic file from them. The geodata file will be given to us by the Vertex. Okay, we have to subscribe the license from them and they will share the license with us. Select the data source here and keep the file location where you have saved in the Oracle database. Okay, or else where you have saved the path, you can give the location and the name. It should be in the TXT format. You can, there are certain XML format it will accept, TXT, whatever it will accept. Give the file name what you have saved, okay, and then click on submit. So I'm not continuing here because in this application already for United States certain setups have been done, so it might impact them. Simply click on continue, and after load file you have to perform the post process data with the same combination. Same parameters will come in the post process data as well. Give the same details what you have given for the prior task and click on submit. So the file will be uploaded in the system. So wherever we save that file, accordingly, how you have seen the structure, the file will be in such a way that the structure and the hierarchies under the structure, everything will be defined for that respective country. Or else, even we can request the Oracle for uploading that task. We're requesting the geographies to get uploaded for the country, China or India, whatever your client is there. Even Oracle also will perform that thing for the client. Or you want to perform that, you can perform with the load geographies concept for uploading into the system. But you require a file which you have to get from that geodata service providers. But if the location is not that complex, as I told the example of TCS, I'm having presence in 7 to 8 cities in the country. Then why should I approach for that one? I will create manually in the manage geographies task. What are the cities I am having? So when I'm creating the locations in the system, I will take the 8 or 9 cities what I have created and I will create the locations in the system by taking the geographies from this task. Okay, so you will understand what geographies or where the geographies will be used once we come to the locations task. Because Oracle application is not up to the mark of giving all the geographical information of all the countries. Depending upon your requirement, you have to customize and add some more whatever you require. Or if it is a huge complex requirement, you want to add more details, then you can request for a file and you can upload in the system. Okay, this is the task for creating the geographies in the system. So tomorrow, let us pick up the new concept called Enterprise Structure Configurator, which is a very important task and which is a very important interview question as well. We will discuss. So the tomorrow entire session, we can talk about that Enterprise Structure Configurator, where we will define the entire client's organization structure, starting with enterprise to till business unit. In one shot, we can configure entire structure of our client in the system till business units. So we will pick up that task tomorrow and we will see. So any questions in today's session, online people? Let me unmute everyone.
Hello. Yes, please, for the deleting the structure types, are we allowed to delete it every time, or since we upload data, we cannot delete?
Yeah, we can, whatever the structures that we defined manually, we can delete at any point of time.
Even if there is a data?
Yes, if the data is there, there will be a validation error will comes up because already you have created some locations by using that data, right?
Yes.
So at that time, it will create the issue. You cannot that. So geographic setup is a one-time setup when the implementation is started. So you have to be careful when we defining the structure. You cannot do the things whenever we require.
Okay. And for this license for the states and countries, the geographic, are we going to from this company to buy it, or
We can go from the client side as well. Client can approach, or else we can approach the Oracle. Then they will also get what I have to say associated with them, and they will also get provided the file to us. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I have one question, Kumar.
Ramesh?
Let's say if we are implementing both financial and HCM, so this managed geographies is like common for both, or
Common,
like
yes, common for both. So we have to be understanding both the financial people and we sit together. What are the locations we are having from HCM part? What I am having, even not only financial people, even the supply chain people also. Usually that people will take care because they will have more presence, right? If supply chain, if I'm taking, they will have more locations compared to our HCM. So usually that people will take higher concentration on this part. But as HCM, we should also understand what is this task. So I have explained you these ways.
okay,
We have to align together. This is a common implementation, no? That's what.
okay. And like, is there any like order of the task like which we have to set up initially? Like,
Correct.
first,
That's what. Even whatever the Excel I have kept here, this is the order which we have to follow in a sequence. If you're going for
yeah, but let's say like if the project,
your voice is breaking, Ramesh. Can you repeat it? What did you say?
yeah, let's say like if we are having like 10 to 15 people working on this implementation project, so they have to work in parallel, right?
Correct.
So yeah, how they will take up these tasks?
See, I will tell you what happens is there is no compulsion that we have to create this one, you have to create first and you have to create second. But ideally, everyone might be knowing about the system, how the system is going to work. Why I am telling you, without creating a location, I cannot create my legal entity, or I cannot create my business unit or department because this is the prior task. I have to add that thing to these things. Or else, without creating this reference data set, I cannot create my job or I cannot create my department or a grade or department. So whatever the tasks which are preliminary, we have to create first. That will be understandable by us once we know the entire application. So in a team, if they are working, they ideally know which task has to be performed first because these tasks will give a provision for rest of the tasks to perform in the system. Okay.
Okay.
There's a dependency between the tasks. So we have to go in this sequence only when we implementing the system.
Okay, and you have mentioned the file location, right? If you have to load the geographics from a file, right? So what is that file path? Because this is in cloud, right?
That
So
could be in the database within the cloud only, like any backend, we can save it, like in whatever to say, in the kind of cloud DBA, we can save that. That we can be called as technical part where we can understand that things, where the files will be saved. System.
okay,
So even see, even the geographies, if you are requirement, you can hand over the configuration or the requirement to the Oracle itself. Like we can request with the service request stating that these are the things we require. Then Oracle also will provide that uploading of the file in the system.
okay,
That is two-way mechanism. If you're comfortable, then you can perform, or else you can upload the Oracle for that. That is the basic service which Oracle has to provide to the clients.
yeah, fine, Kumar.
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah. Okay, then let's continue the session tomorrow with the enterprise structure configurator. Thank you, team. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Let's join back tomorrow.